I don't know how the end of that song goes, or else I would have joined in.
I don't think any of us do.
Believe it or not, something.
Yeah. Something. Believe it or not, something.
Something dark side.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I think I understand what you meant by the tray. Because we could have Steve closer to like.
We could still do it.
Yeah, let's like.
Mhm.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Whoa!
Oh, there you go.
And it's kind of, but if we put Steve up, like, is it gonna
Cover us? Hello, live from behind the map.
No, hold on. I got this. 1 second. Actually, let me close. Show the chat. There we go. All right, 1 second.
There we go.
Just gonna hide it.
Yeah. Perfect.
Should be good.
Yeah.
Yay!
We did it.
Yeah, so we can see you a lot better than that.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm more.
And that's what I turned off my camera.
I'm sorry.
He's like, forget y'all.
Nice. Cool. So how's what's it called? What I don't know what part of California Cowbell's in.
Pasadena.
I definitely
East
know
LA.
where that is. Oh, okay, there we go.
Where are you still at?
LA's so big. It's too big. I remember
It is a
Once
city
it-
and a county.
See, I remember once upon a time, a long time ago, when I traveled to California and I was driving all around and doing all the things, and I'm in LA, and I'm like, I'm gonna go swing dancing, and so I get to this place, and apparently it's Frank Sinatra's birthday, so like they're only playing like they got like a Frank Sinatra cover band, and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there like, oh, okay, like I wasn't paying attention because I don't read stuff when I walk into the room, so I'm like, okay, this song sucks, but I'll just wait for the next one. Surely then they'll play the swing tune. I'm like, huh. Another one. I'm like, this doesn't swing at all. This is terrible. Why would you play this? And then like I like start looking around and I'm like, oh no. And like some like lady came over to me and was like, hey, like this place sucks. There's like a bar across town that's playing like a live blues band. Like it's not a dance venue, but like basically everybody under 50 is leaving and we're gonna go over there. And you want to? I'm like, I'm right there with you. But I didn't realize that across town in LA wasn't like, oh yeah, it's like 20 minutes away. It was like a 50-minute drive.
Okay. I thought you meant like, yeah, just up the road. No, she meant
No.
Okay.
It was like clear across town. I'm like, oh, like in Philly, I'm like, oh yeah, 20 minutes, I'll be there. That sounds like a good time. And I'm like, 50-minute drive. It was torrential rain. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. LA's too big.
Yeah, you survived.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was not killed by Frank Sinatra's birthday and mediocre swing music.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm gonna do one thing
Okay.
because that way we can keep our notes down here.
Ah.
Yeah, and that way we can keep Steve's amazing face up there when we're
Mhm.
I know. The Magic Fantastic.
Yep.
Maybe.
Whoa, look, he's doing magic tricks.
Good thing. Oh, you're supposed to
Mhm.
do it. Oh.
Talking to the Wi-Fi, not you. You're doing it.
Oh.
What did it do?
You just gotta believe.
In the heart of the cards.
Did we disconnect on? It looks like we're still on Twitch.
Yeah, we're still.
Yeah, he's just trying to get his tablet. And we don't.
Ah.
That way we keep your face up there. And then. Yeah. Because then if I look at the notes, then we'll be staring at the screen like this.
Mhm.
Trying to read. It's ridiculous.
That's what I do every episode.
Here, I'm gonna go get my little laptop.
How dare you?
Cool. If you want, I can kick off the first quick bite.
Go ahead. Wait, hold on.
Oh wait, yeah, we got to do all the intro stuff.
We gotta do a proper intro.
Yeah, hit us with that there intro.
I did like that.
What is
I
this
guess it's contraption.
It's more for a laptop. I guess more.
Dang it. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Crap. I should be able to see. I swear we're professionals.
Hmm.
New year, new. Nerd.
Sounds fake.
Oh, there we go. Ah, sweet. Good to go. Oh, it would take me to like say on this week State of the Nerd Union. Will they defeat the evil? No, just
The evil Balboa
the evil.
and his evil reverse twin cousin, Fusion. No.
Fusion.
Oh, sorry.
I knew that was going to happen this episode, so I flipped my camera around so that I would go the right way when I did it. And I was like, this is perfect. This is why you can flip your camera.
So you're ready for a fusion.
Yep. I knew it would happen. I was like, I know exactly why this feature is here.
Mm-hmm. On this week's State of the Nerd Union, we're talking about the Golden Globes a little bit. Well, just a little bit. And everybody's getting sued. just everyone. Like if we told you just one person, that would be a lie. There's multiple companies getting and other people are getting fined.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that. And then lastly, there's someone that wants to play Kratos in live action, and hint, they already voice him.
Huh?
So
Hey, that'd be
would-
pretty fresh.
I think it's the natural decision. So all of that is on today's State of the Nerd Union. You might have noticed some of us are in person. Wait, you're supposed to be doing a rundown. What are you doing on here? What are you doing here?
I just, I like Nerd Union a lot, and I just wanted to, first time, first time guest, long time watchers.
Long time viewer, first time caller.
Hold on, that might be like long time host,
Long time
first
host,
time.
first time.
Long time host, first time host.
Cool. And then Imminent Doom joining us all the way from Philly through the inner tubes.
Still in the same place that I usually am.
I'm the one out of
Right.
Out of water.
Here at Karen Bell's digs,
That you did.
In the bell tower.
the bell tower.
How do you feel about that? It is in an apartment.
It is a very steep steps up to my place.
It's against the law. They're like literally too small for anyone to step on.
Oh, they're poorly constructed stairs. Not up to code.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, that's a
Valentine.
Hey.
hey.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta send you some pictures of Kenneth wearing those blue heart glasses that you gave me, Adrian, because he purloined them for a day.
Mm.
It was gonna be a long time.
But I said, it's a toll. If you want to use my place for the recording, I gotta get my glasses back.
Adrian, we also haven't caught a Nerd Union in forever because we've been.
It's been a while.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Living it up.
Living it up. Okay, I'll quit stalling. Steve, you said you're gonna take the first topic.
Cool. We got it. All right, so we got our first intro bit, the quick bites. Samsung S23 pre-orders are live. Samsung has been sending out their pre-order options for folks that are signed up for their email alerts or using the Samsung devices. You probably saw the banner for the little ad pop up. I'm like, hey man, you trying to get a new phone? Launch happened today. If you officially want to pre-order and you get like $50 off of your S23 model, or up to $100 if you include the new Galaxy Book 2 with your order.
Yeah. So in the previous S22 launch, they did the same thing. They kind of did this. Hey, you can get your pre-order in for the entire. It's weird. They're doing like a tease for the pre-order for the phone you still can't get yet.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta lay those subconscious threads, right?
Yeah,
You gotta put it in the back of your mind. Play the long game. It's like you might not want to pre-order it yet, but let me tell you about what a pre-order would get you.
Yeah. I was like, but if you're getting $100 off, it's like, but okay, but I gotta buy another product too. Okay.
Yeah, you spend $99 on this product, but then you get $100 off on your phone though.
I'll take the next one. If you like first aid sprays, not like, like antiseptic or like antibacterial, but like fake cucumber mint first aid sprays, you can get a commemorative for the Resident Evil anniversary, like the classic spray cans from Resident Evil. But my word, they are pricey. The regular edition, which is just the cans, it doesn't include the kind of case, and some of it's kind of like replica case that sometimes you'll see in Resident Evil. Without the case is $181. The limited edition is $910.
That's crazy.
What I also find funny is that if people are collecting it, they're probably not going to drink the spray.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you spent $900 on something you're never going to drink.
Great.
I mean, to be fair, like most things that cost $900 are things that you'll never be able to drink. So,
but I would sip it though. Like if I buy expensive whiskey, I would still sip it. But I'm not even getting booze out of this equation.
Not even alcoholic.
Yeah, but it's like if you buy like a car, you can't sip on your car. If you buy a new house, you can't drink your house. So.
No, but I get the utility of the house though, and the car.
Yeah, you get the utility of the box. It's a $900 box that you get to look at. That's fun for some people, not for me.
It's art. Taryn, do you want to take one?
Can I do the Funko Pop one?
Okay, sure. So I will do. This was interesting because Destiny 2. Long story short, Bungie and the Destiny 2 community they're in a moment right now. Some of it's the player's fault, some of it is Bungie's fault. I think if anyone just blames Bungie altogether, I don't think that's fair either. It's like, no, Bungie's definitely made some missteps, but the way the community has reacted has also been inappropriate at times. So this is they're not in a great spot. And a user on Twitter posted to the Bungie account like, hey, my character's gone.
Oh.
And the Destiny 2 community flipped the hell out because they thought, wait, is this bug going to affect everyone's characters? Bungie's come out yesterday with a report saying, like, we figured out what happened to that character. We're able to restore it. It seems like this was just a bug on this particular person's character. It doesn't seem to be a systemic issue that's going to delete everyone's characters. But unfortunately, there's been a variety of articles. We even linked one from thegamer.com that just kind of like fallacious. It's like Destiny 2 bugs deleting entire characters. That is not true. It is one person. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be concerned, and the community reaction right now for Destiny is not great, which is why they're all acting the way that they are. But we'll keep monitoring. We'll keep monitoring this.
I mean, I feel like the company did an okay job. It was like, hey, your thing broke, and it is causing a disruption for me, a paying customer. Could you fix it? And they were like, yes, it is fixed now. And basically everybody on the Reddit is like, God damn it! Flipping over their desk to set stuff on fire. Yeah, it's like, technology is complicated and sometimes bonkers stuff happens, but they could make it right. They made it right. So there you go.
Sure.
Save the rage for the rage-inducing stuff.
Save the rage.
Like Funko Pops, for example. That is not a transition.
Holy Funko Pop anniversary, Batman! In honor of Funko
nice
25th anniversary, they're gonna re-release a Batman Pop bundle, and it sports Batman's classic blue cowl, yellow belt design, and comes with a number of features. They said this version will have a removable year one base, a collectible Batman pin, coin, trading card, and along with the 25th anniversary stickers, a specialized Funko Vault packaging. So all those Batman fans, right?
Yeah. Curious what the year one base
I was
looks
like,
like.
year
So
one base?
I didn't see I saw an image of the pop, but I didn't see.
The actual stand.
So, but I mean, I don't know. It could be like the building or something
Oh,
from
maybe.
year one, something like that. Nice.
Yeah.
Batman year 25.
I guess. Do you want me to? I can take Ezra Miller.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
These are more your wheelhouse. You got these.
Oh God. Now this was the burglary case that kind of kicked off the news and like kind of made a lot of people aware that something was going on, and then this led to the cross country chase and pursuit of Ezra Miller. So he is pleading guilty to. Now this one, if you'd removed everything else that happened, it'd be like some typical crazy Hollywood story, like Ezra Miller broke into my house and like stole my booze.
Right.
Now that's not. I'm not saying that's good, but it would have been run of the mill Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get into like the kidnapping. It just like takes this thing to.
Yeah, Ezra Miller broke into my house and stole my child. This is a much less enjoyable like Hollywood anecdote.
It's not like that little miscreant, that little scamp.
Yeah, it's like nah, I'll throw this man in jail.
So the longer conversation that's worrying is like the Flash is still supposed to come out this year, and it makes me like, why are we allowing that to happen?
We could have just used the Flash from the TV show all along. Everybody already likes him. He's cool and he's funny, and I don't know anything about him as an individual, which is how I like to keep things.
So we'll keep you. We've been reporting on that for a long time, so we'll keep you abreast of what happens with the other parts because there's more charges that are involved. But he's pled guilty to this one. So
there's a lot of parts that are involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of parts involved. To happier news, we're not doing a full Golden Globe breakdown because we usually save that for our movie show. But just some quick Globe reactions because we had a partner win. With that Best Actress and Supporting Actor, Michelle Yeoh and Ke-Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere at Once. And it's been really nice.
And their speeches, like, how do you not get choked up listening to them? Like, well earned. Like, so well earned.
It was a great movie. I haven't seen the Golden Globes, so I have no idea. But the movie was fantastic, and they absolutely deserve it.
I mean, let's be honest. I didn't watch the Golden Globes.
I watched clips of the Golden Globes.
I was in a movie clubhouse the whole time, so we were just like kind of like talking. Someone gave us updates as things happened, but none of us were like, none of us had it. It was on a Tuesday night, also.
Right?
It was so bizarre. It was like, what? Why is this that? Okay, all right, that's a choice.
Adrian said that they seriously love those speeches. I haven't cared about the Golden Globes in a while. Yeah. That's why I literally was like, oh, they won. Let me find those speeches right now. I need them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I've ever cared about the Golden Globes, which is probably why they're on a Tuesday.
Well,
I was gonna say we were talking that most of the time this was the Ricky Gervais clips that would come out afterwards.
Yeah.
And they would spread like wildfire. People were like, oh man. And now he's that's a whole nother conversation. Jamie Lee Curtis has a photo floating around when Michelle won and just like super cheerleader. Yeah. I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. I did see that one.
Yeah.
You want to talk Angela Bassett?
Yeah. So Angela Bassett's actually the first Marvel like actor to get an award. So that's like really cool. That I mean, it's the Golden Globes, it's not the Oscars yet, but I mean, like,
yeah, sure.
That's the thing is like I know we're all like shitting on the Golden Globes, speaking my language, but like it is really great that they are recognizing, you know, like Michelle and Kia and Angela, like that they're finally getting that recognition that's well overdue.
Yeah, Angela Bassett slaps. Absolutely, she's like deserves all the acolytes and praise and so forth.
A tease for when we talk about the Globes later this week on the movie show. I keep saying the movie show because I'm hoping we'll get
the movie show.
It'll make sense when you see. We got hopefully a graphic that will be ready by then. So then I'll just saying the movie show. I want to say it together. But the reason succinctly is why the Globes can be problematic to guess for the Oscars is because they split things into comedy, musical, and drama.
Okay.
So Kate Blanchett won Best Supporting Actress, or sorry, Best Actress for drama, and it's like how are voters viewing Michelle versus Kate right now? If you go off the Globes, I don't know.
Yeah.
That didn't actually help me learn anything. So I'm assuming both of them are going to get nominated at the Oscars for sure. But the question is like, I don't know.
It's a harder race, right? Like yeah. So real quick, Adrian says they're re-releasing Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon to theaters.
Yo, let's go.
I'll go do that. I've seen it at like a midnight screening back in Nashville, but all right. Next up, you want Studio?
For the Cinephiles, Studio Ghibli is releasing over 1,000 images for download and public use. So it's a Japanese-only website, but the quality is really great. So you can download these images, use them as you like, maybe for backgrounds on your laptop or whatever. But it says that they're allowed to use within reason per the official Studio Ghibli press.
Yeah. So that's good legal verbiage.
Right.
It's like I'll figure out whatever that means when I see something I hate.
No, not that.
But they pull Nintendo? No. Oh God, that let's make a pen to make a Nintendo note at the end. I don't want to say it. Cool. I'll do the dumpster fire. That is HBO Max. They got nominated and won a record number for any studio or streamer at the Golden Globes, which is just surprising given how many of the shows they've been canceling left and right. We're gonna, which is a nice cue into this quote. I'll do this one too. From Stephen DeKnight. If you don't know who Stephen DeKnight is, he was the showrunner for the Daredevil series on Netflix. Is also going to be continue show running that for the Daredevil Born Again on Disney Plus. And quoting from him, he's advocating for guild and union involvement for these cancellations. Now, if you've ever seen a show or something get canceled before, you're probably like, why is this a big deal? It's not just that the shows are getting canceled. In order to get these tax write-offs, they are deleting the shows from their streaming service, killing the catalogs, like just so people don't have access to it as part of it, making it almost like they didn't exist.
I think like throwing the scripts in the trash, like saying you can't use those.
And it's one thing to cancel a show that you created yourself, but when you're like buying up like intellectual property from other companies, Cartoon Network, and then just throwing it into a hole and locking it away so nobody can get access to these shows like that, and then taking them down for places online that have them posted, then it becomes extremely problematic. People who have worked for Cartoon Network for the past 15 or 20 years, all of their work suddenly just evaporates.
Yeah. So there will be a upcoming bargaining agreement between some of the screenwriter guilds, directors guilds, and what Steven is pitching is that they should hold that as a clause that needs to be added in, so make studios think twice before they engage in that act. But most likely they're not going to agree to that. So we might be headed for a strike when those negotiations kick up. So it's going to be an interesting summer, because that's about when it'd probably already start negotiations, but the summer is when that would really start to kick off in earnest. So if you're TV, all of a sudden there's less shows at the for the fall schedule, make a mental note.
Time to go outside and touch grass. Or play video games. Let's go.
Or play video games.
Which is an almost excellent segue into game time, but we have one more thing before.
One more thing.
Magic must defeat magic.
And Adrian said making money from it too. Yeah.
Imagine stealing somebody's stuff for a tax write-off and then destroying it so they can't have it. That's just rude. Well, I guess it's not stealing it, it's buying it, but still, it puts bad taste in people's mouth.
Should at least Summer Camp Island doesn't get burned. Great. So for now, hopefully not. All right. We ready for the last one?
Yeah. What's the next? What's next?
Oh, I got this one. False movie advertising might be open to lawsuits. So back in 2019, Danny Boyle directed a movie called Yesterday, which was a Beatles tribute movie that imagined what would happen if their music never existed. I remember seeing ads for that. But despite Anna de Maris being featured in the trailers, her part was eventually cut. And part of that, I've seen this come up before. People argue it's like, oh, this is a form of false advertising. Of I thought this was going to be, this kind of movie, but it wasn't in it at all. And I think they have a foot to stand on there. Venom did the exact same thing, where it showed you, like there's like posters of Spider-Man in the trailers, and you're like, oh man, is this going to be the one? Is Spider-Man going to show up? Are we going to tie it in? And like functionally, all you got was like an extra credit scene where for some reason the Vulture's there, and he's like, how did I get here? It's probably Spider-Man's fault. And they're like, that's it. That's the only tie-in that they actually had. But from the trailers, like when you compared the pre-movie trailers to the post-movie trailers, in that case as well, like there's a whole bunch of Spider-Man paraphernalia all around to imply that he's going to exist in this world. Or sorry, not Venom. I misspoke. It was what was that movie everybody hated?
Oh, Morbius.
Morbius, yes. I misspoke. Sorry. It was Morbius.
Yeah.
I was like, it was a dark movie with a whole bunch of shadows and I was like, my bad. Venom 2 was fine. It was Morbius.
Yeah. Even more disappointed.
So in the case, the Universal was trying to get it thrown out, but the judge specifically was saying like they're being very narrow in their focus.
Mm-hmm.
You promised that this actress was going to be in the film, so it's not going to be open to like I didn't like the it's not gonna be like I didn't like the way that this happened, or I thought the movie was going to be more about this. It's like it is limited to the scope of you presented a particular idea or this scene as existing. Now, where the limits of that are going to be at, I don't know. Like something that was cited in there also was like. Technically, Avengers Infinity War shows this massive hero shot that's not in the final movie. It's got like Hulk together in them, and it's not in the movie.
Yeah.
But like, could you say like that also is not gonna like? I want my money back for not getting to see that.
I would argue that like if a particular scene doesn't make it into the movie, like that's different from like a character not being in the film. Like if I go to see like a movie that like has like Will Ferrell in it or whatever, it's all over the trailers. I'm like, oh man, Will Ferrell's in this movie. I don't give a damn about what this movie's about, but I love Will Ferrell, so I'm gonna go see the film. And I go and see it, and he's nowhere to be found. I'm gonna be mad. Like that's the whole reason I went to go see it.
Yeah,
fair.
They stole that $7.50 matinee price from me.
You know what time it is?
Game time.
You know that one company we rag on a lot on this channel, Ubisoft, and their terrible workplace conditions. Wait, is that Activision? No, it's the same.
Or is it EA? Or is it Facebook? I always forget.
Surprisingly, EA might. Okay, that's never mind.
So many lawsuits.
What's up, Doug? So they're canceling a number of games, citing economic downturn because they're 100 million euros shorter than what they expected in the final quarter of last year. But when you're putting out titles like another Mario and the Rabbids game and Just Dance 3, you know, maybe that's, you know, I'm not saying there's not a market for those games. People like them. That's just not the juggernaut, you know, coming out. Like that's not what I'm gonna go off and go grab on the shelf in the winter. You know,
everyone's like, "Oh man, Mario Raving Rabbids is coming out again. That'll be great." It's like that's not the stocking stuffer that they think it is.
So there's 3 games that hadn't been announced that they're canceling their production on it, and also if you were looking forward to Skull and Bones, you're gonna have to wait even longer on that front. So yeah, we'll see what happens for the rest of the year with Ubisoft. You want to take on Kratos?
Like me or Tara?
I'm not the game time person here. Sorry.
All right, cool.
You're not the
Wait.
game time person.
I find the things, but I don't do the games.
Go for it.
That rhymed. Wait, who's doing it? All right,
All right, I'll do it. I got it. All right, Christopher Judge wants to play Kratos for live action. So Christopher Judge, you may recognize as the voice of Kratos in the video games, says that he wants to tackle playing Kratos for the live action TV series. Obviously, that's a fantastic choice. Or actually, is it live action or is it
it'd be live action.
Yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, that's obviously a fantastic choice. Like, get the same person who does the voice, get the person to do it live action.
Yeah.
Easy choice for me. It's like, why would you pick anybody else? And
Like,
honestly, if they did, like, people would be upset about it, especially now that they know, like, oh wait, this was the option and you chose to do this, something else.
Something I think, like, because I could already see it maybe happening, not in our comments, but some other, like, when this came out, of like, well, Kratos is white. Like, and to be fair, some people may not realize if you go back and play the original God of War,
he's
actually
ashy.
but I forget what it is.
It's like the ash of like his family or something that's bound to his skin or something like that.
That's what ends up making his skin pale, right?
Yeah.
But he's initially kind of over a darker complexion.
Yeah.
So now it might feel weird to see Christopher Judge in that makeup. So that could be a thing where it's like, oh, that might feel a little weird. So I don't know how that would. They'd have to find a way to make that look good. But we got a recent example, Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
And Love and Thunder. I think that looked really good. So I think there's definitely like someone can actually make that look really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people have been ashy for a long time, so.
That's what he said, ashy. I was like, oh.
He is literally covered in the ash of like his family or whatever. That is the textbook definition of being ash.
Textbook ash.
Oh man, I'll double down on this one because you know how much I love talking trash about Epic. So Epic Games / Fortnite. Fined by the FCC. So if you remember, a long time ago, we talked about all the time, like pandering and like games using developmental razzmatazz in order to convince kids to like spend more money and get addicted playing video games and loot boxes and blah 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 blah. In the same vein of that, Epic now needs to pay just over $500 million, with half of that covering the FTC fine and the other half covering to cover refunds for Epic Games / Fortnite users that were preyed upon by dark patterns aimed at getting kids to charge or buy items that they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Along that same vein, you've heard of us talk about it before, like all over, and especially in like the like all across like European countries and whatnot. There have been tons and tons of political arguments and movements about like what counts as gambling in video games or what are predatory practices. And I'm really glad to see that there are places that are putting their foot down and saying like, no, you can't manipulate people into getting addicted to your game by XYZ material, like pattern or whatever, or by any pattern to get them to buy stuff. Like it's dishonest and unacceptable. So I'm glad to see that they're forced to pay for it in a dollar amount means. Yeah. And it's not like, oh, you need to pay $5 million. Like that's a lot of money, to me. But when you're looking at like, oh man, like FIFA makes, I don't even know how many millions of dollars a year in in-game purchases. Like you got to hit them with like something like 500 million, where like now it becomes really meaningful.
Yeah. Like when we would talk about like Amazon fines being like drops in the bucket, and it's like, like what are we like? This is actually,
like, that's not a fine, that's a fee.
Yeah, it needs to be something that actually hurts and makes you like reconsider your actions. This one, for a company their size, this 500 million for a game studio is not a joke. Like that's an actual hit.
Yeah.
If it was like Microsoft or something, they'd be like, okay, here.
Speaking of Microsoft, the video game workers form a first union under Microsoft. A subsidiary of Microsoft, ZeniMax Studios, had nearly 300 video game QA testers vote to unionize. So this vote marks the largest video game union to form and gain traction for a major studio. I'm a former union shop steward, so I'm all for this. I think that's great. We've on the show, you guys have talked a lot about how they really need to unionize to like actually get, things that favor them and they're not getting put in bad working situations. So
I mean, especially to fight crunch.
Right.
Oh yeah, totes. People got to remember, like unions were never your enemy. Government propaganda telling you that unions were bad was your enemy.
Yes, the unions are there for you. So,
or they're all run by the mob, and it's like,
yeah,
we know there was documented unions that got taken over by the mob, but that's not all. Just stop.
Yeah,
just stop.
Even so, now you in a union that got mob power. It was like, hey,
I mean,
let's go.
Didn't hear it here, folks, but
as a Godzilla fan, I still love the connected MonsterVerse. So if you liked Kong Skull Island, that never rolled off the tongue for me. I just never, I love them. I like that movie, but that never rolled off the tongue. But we're getting a game based on that island, and it will eventually connect to the rest of the MonsterVerse and the Godzilla versus King Kong movies. So DeVito Artworks and Game Entertainment are covering aspects of that movie. How you'll be able to play as Kong, not exactly sure. But it is nice to actually get some properties in the MonsterVerse, because we're now on 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah.
I think the last King Kong game that we had was the
Peter
Jackson one. Yeah, the Peter Jackson one.
Oh man, that thing was buggy. Oh man, I remember not being able to complete missions on it because you just there's oh, okay, my weapon just clipped out of the universe. It's just gone.
you dropped your gun and it phases through the ground. You're like, well, damn.
Yeah, it's like Fallout New Vegas kind of but I'm at least Fallout New Vegas. Okay, sorry. It's a different thing. Almost like they need to check out the technology that they were using.
Maybe we should check the tech.
You should check the tech.
Hey.
Use the strength of your heart, obviously. Oh my God.
There you go. I'll defeat Kong with the power of friendship and this gun I found.
So actually, I'll take this one. MagSafe is coming to Android, not the MagSafe that you may be familiar with, though. So if you're used to the detachable cords to your charging port on your Android, USB-C connection, that's not exactly what we're talking about. But the Q2, where let's say if you use an Apple Watch and you get the magnet to attach to your watch directly so it charges, and you don't have to try to if you're Android users, you sometimes have done the mad search for where is item going to charge and pick up the coils. They're going to be adding that to a lot of new Android phones to help avoid that situation. So I'm actually really excited about that because.
No, I just got a new phone and I'm like, where does it fit on the Wi-Fi? Where? The wireless. Yeah. I'm come on.
And see, that's why cords are the way to go.
I mean,
oh man, how do you make a wireless internet connection faster? It's you add a wire. How do you make a charge your phone charge better? It's you add a wire.
I mean, I can't say anything because I've wired Ethernet throughout the entire house. So yeah. I got no leg to stand.
We support you.
Yeah. We're nearly toward the end of the show. Yeah. You want to do another one?
I'll give it a try. You want a M2 Pro or a MacBook Pro? You're gonna have to wait longer. It looks like, based on reporting from Tom's Hardware, there's already delays. They've for the upgrades to the M2 chip, and it won't be an early spring release like they thought. It'll likely be later in the year. This contradicts the usual Apple insider Mark Gurman, who maintains a early 2023 calendar release for the potential M2 Pro and Max chips.
Yeah.
I know Adrian. I don't know if Adrian has anything to chime in on that because she's into Mac. But
They
yeah.
did say that even cords should be magnetic. Magnetic cords do slap, like when they
Oh, that's true.
my
Like,
Yeah.
I know some of the
Yeah.
MacBooks, right? Like
the
they're
ones that
magnetic.
like will automatically kind of snap to where they need to go is
Yeah.
on a scale of 1 to spiff, very spiff.
Usually our Apple insiders are on the same-ish page.
Mhm.
So it's kind of weird. Tom's Hardware is usually pretty solid on this. So for Mark Gurman and Tom's Hardware to be in disagreement, I also just wonder if maybe Apple has the chip designed for the Pro and the Max, but they're just running into some production issues. We're not
Like,
aware.
are we past those supply chain issues for like? Because I know there was supply chain issues for like hardware, right? So I don't know if maybe that's still kind of. Adrian says,
I mean, there's still like other factors that still kind of bump into that. Like I know from the like I know from what my understanding, like we still have some backup from Boat Fiasco. From
Boat Fiasco.
from whenever that had happened temporally.
That's
Time is a
2022,
myth, right? But apparently, like we're still feeling the effect of that. So maybe like that's also a factor. And then war always complicates supply chain stuff. So
It's also true.
Yeah.
I was also wondering if maybe because as much as I like my MacBook Pro, I still know they're trying to use up a lot of older chassis and just try to get them. They probably had way more of those than they expected. So I wonder if that's a part of it. Sorry, I just saw Adrian. I love how everyone knows what Boat Fiasco means.
Don't even need it.
It's like, oh yeah, I remember Boat Fiasco.
Boat Fiasco.
I already got my tickets for Boat Fiasco 2024. Let's go.
No.
You can say 2023.
Okay, so we have a year to prepare. Yeah. So and I'm also wondering, some of the complaints though about the Pro is, are we going to actually get a new form factor for it going forward? So we got that with the Air, the new Airs of the M2, but we didn't really get that with the Pro. So I'm wondering if that's maybe they're trying to really give a good design on that. So yeah, and I heard some rumors today about them possibly taking over their own display manufacturing, which I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do, but they're gonna do it. There you go. Maybe. Apple gonna do what Apple gonna do. So
just be prepared. Like, oh man, did you want a proprietary, unique display that you can't buy anywhere else whenever your screen cracks? Then you're gonna love this.
I hadn't even got to the repairability on it. Oh, now I'm sad.
Adrian does note that it's easier to control the ethical process, though.
That's true.
But if they're still making it at Foxconn, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up. Sorry. Good.
Anybody?
Let's get into some main topics. So this one's a bit of a lengthy one. I'm just gonna read excerpts from the Engadget article because they do a pretty solid job of covering stuff, and I just kind of want to hit a couple of points. But TikTok is being sued by schools in Seattle, claiming a mental health issue that it creates for students. So the Seattle Public Schools have sued the tech giants behind Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, etc., accusing them of creating a mental health crisis among America's youth. The 91-page lawsuit filed in a U.S. district court states that the tech giants exploit the addictive nature of social media, leading to rising anxiety, depression, and thoughts of self-harm. For students, the harmful content pushed to users includes extreme diet plans, encouragement of self-harm, and more, according to the complainant. Wait.
Yeah, that's right.
There we go.
Yeah.
That has led to a 30% increase between 2009 and 2019 of students who report feeling so sad or helpless for more than 2 weeks in a row that they stopped doing some usual activities. I think that's I think that's like a factor, but there's like a whole bunch of other reasons about why things are bad other than that. Just you're watching too much like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc. But I'll hold my criticism till the end. Quote, we've invested heavily in creating safe spaces for children across our platforms and have introduced strong protectors and dedicated features to prioritize their well-being, a Google spokesperson told the news network. For example, through Family Link, we provide parents with the ability to set reminders and limit screen time and block specific types of content on supervised devices. Insert, that's kind of hard. Like, the internet is a big ass place, and like you can't every website that your kid goes on, you can't block it. Like, you can't, if they're on like forum stuff, like especially if you let them go on 4chan as a whole, like there's 4chan is too big and too gross to allow anybody under like 18 to go on. In my opinion, like there is wholesome fun stuff on 4chan to be had, but like that ain't what they known for. But the internet is like a really big place, and like your kids are gonna find, yeah, right. But your kids are gonna find more, like your kids are gonna find stuff faster than you can patrol it. So at a certain point, yeah, like it's like we hold parents accountable. You got to block your kids' stuff, but there's only so much you could do. Like at some point, like you need help from the entity themselves to do some of that legwork, and like preferably like not recommend diet videos to like your like 14-year-old children.
Yeah.
Last bit here. Critics and experts have recently accused social media companies of exploiting teens and children. Media whistleblower, that's Facebook. Francis Haugen, for one. I'm not letting them take that Meta name. I misspoke there. But for one, testified to Congress that Facebook's products harm children. Eating disorders expert Brian Austin also wrote in a 2021 Harvard article that social media content can send teachers into "quote unquote" a dangerous spiral. And the issues have caught the attention of legislators who proposed the Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, just last year. So that's kind of like some of the footnotes from this Engadget article that I wanted to focus on. But like, it's the internet is a big place. Like parents, like we put a lot on like, oh, the parents got to block stuff. But it like when you're giving your kid like they have their own computer because they got to do schoolwork or they need to do research, and they have their own devices. Like you can't block everything on there, and you can't watch every video that they watch or watch every content creator to figure out if they're a good content creator, because it's like, you have to go to work and you have to eat food and you have to make food for them and you got to go to sleep at some point. So it's a whole extra job.
On the internet and do your own thing too.
Yeah,
exactly. You can't be like, Dad, can I watch this YouTube video? I was like, let me watch it first. It's like it's a 2-hour long Roblox video. It's like, sure, fine, whatever. How bad could it be?
And then next thing you know, your kid's addicted to making stuff on Roblox.
Making video games on Roblox and being exploited by the Roblox company.
What I think is really damning, though, is and this is going to come up because Meta's got the data. We're going to talk about that in just a second.
Yeah.
Sorry, what are you calling them?
I just call them Facebook.
Media.
I misspoke and called them media, but the name that they stole from the other company called Meta, I just call them Facebook because I'm like, y'all Facebook.
But they knew, like when the whistleblower and that started releasing that information. I think what's worse is, and the moderation tools could be better. There's still responsibility on parents as far like is what they can do, because I think even sometimes it's not talked about as like. There's a lot of parents still just not doing anything to help monitor their kids at all, which is definitely not helping. But it's like, oh no, you knew what your products were doing. Or like when we talked about Instagram for kids, this is about like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
On that, and they're like, this is a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And they had data from their own company research. It said like, we should not don't make this because it's only going to make these trends we've been seeing worse. And I'm like,
They have the data and they've done the studies internally, but they're like, money though.
Even they were saying, don't do it. Like, come on. So.
Oh man.
Adrian had said schools probably need to offer practical courses on how to navigate the internet with social research, etc. Honestly, I agree. Yeah. Like, it's a huge. It's like our future.
I would put it in the realm of like practical things that like schools don't teach you anymore. Like it's like, oh, how do I pay my taxes? And it's like, why would you need to know that? We don't need to teach that class anymore. It's like, how do I safely navigate the internet? And it's like, why would you need to know that? You don't need to know that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, because we were just talking about getting license and stuff. And,
Yeah.
but something I didn't think about was like I also went for driver's ed, and it might be that online searching needs to be in that kind of held in that
Like
same regard.
driver's ed, kind of like
like they don't teach you driver's ed at school anymore. They're just like, work it out. You just like, here's Grand Theft Auto. Here, put it in first person. Make it happen.
Cool. Do you want me to take the next one?
Go for it. Yeah.
So Meta, this is still an indictment on Facebook, but I am glad that they're actually doing this. Is that they're going to be restricting a lot of the demographic information on teenagers' social media data, and or just like not allowing that information to be given out to advertisers in general. So starting in February, if you're an advertiser, you're no longer be able to see a user's gender or the types of posts they have engaged with as a way of targeting your specific adverts to them. And under these enhanced protections, only their age and location will be used for the advertising. I would put a caveat of that. You can still do a lot with someone's age and location. There's always that, not a joke, but like always that idiom of we can know a lot about a voter just based on their zip code. So that still would hold true based on an age and location. But I still think if you're trying to advertise to youth, that's still much better than giving all the information out. Let's see. Via Facebook, as part of our continued work to keep our apps age appropriate for teens, we're making further changes to our ad experiences, and we recognize that teens aren't necessarily as equipped as adults to make decisions about how their online data is used for advertising, particularly when it comes to showing them products available to purchase. So for that reason, we're further restricting the options that advertisers have to reach teens, as well as the information that we use to show ads to teens. But actually, I'm not going to take this one. Steve, do you want to?
Yeah. So the interjected note that I have right at this point in our notes is, but hold up, they're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. Like, responsive Facebook, like they're taking it upon themselves to protect the children because they can't make those kind of decisions. It's like they were already sued for like $500 million, or not sued, but fined for like $500 million back in 2020. By Irish regulators in Ireland, who launched like a 2-year investigation into whether or not Instagram had exposed the contact information of its underage users by allowing them to publicly post their phone numbers and email addresses when they switched accounts. So like they're not like, oh man, like we gotta protect the kids because they can't advocate for themselves, so we gotta make sure that they're okay. And it's like, no, you already were fined like $500 million almost, because you weren't doing that. So like I'm glad that they're like doing it, but like they're not being proactive about it. Like it's literally like, let's do this and make as much money from it as we possibly can until it becomes like infeasible to do so. So
also, did everyone catch the year that Steve said? That was 2020.
And what now, 2 years later, they're like, oh damn. Well, I think it was like the lawsuit was filed in, I'm guessing it was filed in 2020, and then in September of last year was when like it finally went through, and they were like, no, give me $500 million now. So now like a few months later, they're like, okay, we lost. Let's do the thing and let's stand up for the children. Yeah.
For the children are future.
And the point that you brought up, Kenneth, that we mentioned Francis Haugen in the previous thing, but he was the one who back in September of 2021 said that the company had known about like what the impact of Instagram was on minors, and it conducted research in showing and shown that like it has a harmful effect on. Specifically in this one, was mentioned as the harmful impact on the mental health of teenage girls.
Yeah, I
like
remember
on one end, like I believe that like if teenagers are bad, and like no matter what, like they will find opportunities to relentlessly shit on each other because like that's just what they do to have fun. However, like being attached to like a tiny computer where people can shit on you from anywhere at any time, and like it just pops up on your phone and somebody's just like, yo, here's a list of reasons I don't like you. That's not good for your mental health. Like, you know, if you could put that kind of like, as long as you is like, that's a note that you get in school, like that's bad and it sucks and it's not fun, and those aren't fun experiences or memories that anybody has. But like as long as you can be someplace else and push those things aside, then it's not as bad for your mental health. But like, you know, at a certain point, like the technology that's being used, like I don't think that like kids or teens being mean to each other is ever going to stop in any capacity.
Right.
But like being constantly saturated by it is like absolutely not good for your mental health.
And I think sometimes I'll speak for myself, like it can be hard to think back to that time frame because we weren't inundated
Right.
with that. I'm not trying to say like our internet experiences when we were younger was pure by any means. There's still some sus and cess on the in the time that we came up.
Yeah.
But that aspect of it wasn't there yet. Like you could still kind of opt out. If someone said something mean to you on a chat, you could still be like, hell, you may not even have a photo of the person. You can just be like, you know, I don't know who the hell that, I don't know who that is. All right, I'm out, log out. Whereas like, oh, but that's Timmy in 6th grade who's right across from me who said that. Oh,
yeah. It's like, and that kind of stuff is hurtful on a larger scale because it's like, and it's like knowing that like, oh, if somebody records you doing something embarrassing, like you fall down in gym class or something, and like now it's on the internet and people are like, oh man, that's hilarious, little kids falling down in gym class, top tier comedy. Like you don't want that.
That's forever.
Yeah.
And the fact that that September 2021 said specifically for teen girls, I think that that's like the beauty standards because most like every single social media, it's like you have these influencers and they present a certain way, you know, they've got themselves all situated, and that's not their normalness, but that's how they're presenting, so that's all you see, so then that affects your own, you know, sense of self-worth and self-image and the dysphoria that comes from that. So
because how do you balance, and it's I know we're not going to solve this on the show, but it's like but it's like how do you balance
no I think we can do it. Keep going.
I think that's the question, is like, even if you take age out of it, it's like how do you balance the opportunity to like represent yourself the way that you want to,
right,
but then also recognizing like, but that is having an impact on the people around you.
Yeah.
So because I definitely don't want, there is a segment of the internet that gets really angry at particularly women that post and present themselves a certain way on Instagram. I'm like, we don't need to go that direction either, because then there's just some like you get a lot of
like
usually
tone
a lot of cishet white
really
dudes. It can be more just that, but they just get angry about the way women present themselves. So I'm like, we don't want to go that direction, but there's also like, but there is an impact happening.
Well, yeah, and then there's also like the white male gaze can be like, you know, it's so complicated. Like, like you know, it's
a big interconnected thing.
But you know, there should be that freedom. Like the internet should be a place where you can have the freedom to present yourself as you want to be. But there's so much societal like influence that it gets complicated.
Yeah, and it goes into like the what it comes back to is like the thing of like kids don't understand that people are multifaceted.
Right.
Like well, I should say all kids don't understand, because like probably everybody in this chat was probably considered like a gifted child growing up or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, like you know what's going on. It's like, I most certainly do not know what's going on. I'm just trying to get home before 5:30 to catch Dragon Ball Z.
Right.
But like, you know, most kids, I would say, like, don't necessarily understand that the presentation that someone is presenting to you in a YouTube video or on a movie screen or on a TV show is not all that person is. And like, if you try to become
that's all I am is a shirt.
Yeah, right. If you try to become like to make all of you like a single reflection of what you see from another person, like you're going to have a bad time. But like kids don't know that, but adults do.
Right.
And so like that's kind of the difference. It's like, do you do you only show kids like unboxing videos and like Roblox and Fortnite stuff, and like that's all they're exposed to? Because like they're not, interfacing with the content creators so much as they are the content itself. But like, I have no idea. Like, what does that mean? What do you show children? Now, my answer is don't let children watch stuff on the internet and just have them watch cartoons like they should be doing. It's cartoon slap.
Cartoon slap.
And then we rope it back into the WB, and now let's shit on them.
The WB.
Give me back my Billy and Mandy. Oh man.
Yeah, like Adrian said, you could have meaningful conversations every time, but most parents don't have the privilege. Like that's the thing. Like I don't have kids myself, but my best friend has 2 kids, and when I was watching them once, we were watching stuff, but we were talking it the entire time. Like it's fine, we can watch something a little more intense, but let's talk it out. So yeah, but that's a luxury. So
yeah.
Just want to go back to a few comments we had real quick, and then we can wrap. Doug said, "Do you think adults are good at protecting their data?"
Yeah, right.
No, we are not. Adrian,
it's a constant fight to protect your data.
Yeah.
It's not worth the effort. I'm like, just send me figurine ads. It's whatever.
How about we just not advertise to teens? Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the better answer, obviously going forward. But one step at a time, or maybe our regulators could do something that's good. Yeah, it's too much.
Asking our regulators to do stuff already overtaxing.
All right.
It's like, hey, could you? Whoa, you're asking.
Get a speaker of the house. Voted in. Oh, is that too soon? Wrap it up. So, hey, thank you all for joining us on the show today. And Taryn, thank you for letting us have it in your apartment.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. Oh, so yeah, if we've done this on hotel internet.
Oh, lady.
No.
Oh yeah.
No way.
Kenny, those are the episodes where Kenny's out here with the potato salad internet. So
we got a couple.
You can see the dial-up connection.
See the little connection going across the screen for everybody.
Yep. Like, sir, are you using the internet? We need to use the telephone.
Shut it down.
So I kept saying movie show. We do have a movie show now called Content Not Found. Our wonderful Jerry Ace Trainer is working on the graphic for it. I think it's going to be really cool, and a nice little intro for how the show starts. But if it's not ready by time for Tuesday, I may I don't know. We'll see. I might still call it the movie show.
The movie show until it's
we'll keep the gag going. Steve,
yo,
you got a throwback this week?
I haven't said the words Jack and Daxter at all this episode, so I would say Jack and Daxter 2. It's about time for my annual replay of Jack and Daxter 2 and 3. So I'm gonna hit those up. Then I need to replay Matrix Path of Neo. Always critical.
Yeah.
Good game. I'm really glad that game came out for the 4th.
I have a game.
You have a game?
Oh, let's go.
When we played Jet Force Gemini, I always played the little robot.
Oh, yo, that's a good game.
Yeah. Screw that game. Because there's still that water level. It's always water level.
It's always the water level. The water level's always bad.
Just like I'm getting blasted and I can't find the way. I can't. I probably still have a save.
You're like,
that's where like, because it'd be where I want to just give up every
like
time.
Done.
Because then I thank God for Game Facts when it finally came out, and you could. Because sorry.
I remember I spent so long on a guide. I probably spent as much on the FAQ guide as I did like creating a title with like all the random little characters for the front of the guide. It took me forever.
My throwback, because there's a new Armored Core coming out. The trailer, if y'all have not seen it, it's actually pretty dope. I love it. But Armored Core is also made from, this one studio that, has done Elden Ring and Sekiro, so
Little studio, you might have heard of it.
yeah, a little studio. This is way before they knew what the hell they were doing. Yeah, I said it because I loved Armored Core just because it was mechs, but
Mhm.
it's almost unplayable. Armored Core 2, this is the one I'm referring to as a throwback. I still love to go back because there's kid nostalgia with it, but it's rough. The controls and inputs. Now, but that's why I'm curious, because
Right.
now that they've gotten a lot better at that from the Souls games and stuff like that,
Mhm.
me an Armored Core game now could be, and the customization options. You
Dynamite.
get, I think. It'd
Oh
be,
man, I used to love customized. I never owned Armored Core, but I had a demo on the PlayStation Jam Packs for other old people who remember those. That was a fun game.
oh yeah, the PlayStation Underground. Yeah.
Yep. You used to get a magazine in the mail, and it came with a CD, and
Oh,
you
wait,
put that
that's-
in your PlayStation, you play it. It had demos on it.
Ah yes.
Yeah, what was-
Wait, what'd you say?
I had a pin from Nintendo, and Taryn reminded me about it.
Oh, nice.
We may could bring this up next week, but usually, if Nintendo throws a lawsuit at you,
Oh yeah.
people just kind of
Back off.
fold in. Now, to be clear, this was not
Oh,
a
yeah.
lawsuit, but it was someone using. They basically had put a fair use video from a Nintendo game on their YouTube channel, and immediately got. Or sorry, it had been up for about like a month or two.
Okay.
Then they got a strike, and this is one of the first successful counters to it, and like Nintendo has not since challenged it again.
Okay.
Now, that is not saying Nintendo couldn't still come back around later and still try to quote unquote get them. But yeah, it's nice to see. And I'll when I find the channel or the link to that article, I can throw that in the show notes or throw it in the for the comments on this video.
Yeah.
Cool. That's it.
Alrighty.
That's it.
Can I throw a nerd moment of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently at SAC Anime, which was up in Sacramento, the whole cast of Avatar: The Last
yes.
Airbender showed
What?
and they actually dressed up as their characters. So we'll have
That's
to link to that
awesome.
in the show notes. It was like so heartwarming.
You throw that photo in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Nerds gonna be nerds.
Nerds gonna be nerds. Reporting from the bell tower
In
Uh,
Pasadena.
in
Los
Pasadena.
Angeles.
Thank you for joining us, Imminent Doom, Taryn Bell. I've been Commandership, and this has been State of Nerd Union. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Wow. We're good. Yeah.
Happy 2023.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
Pop, pop.
Woo. Steve-O. See if we get that reference.
I have
Bye-bye.
no idea.